Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's Mr. Anderson again. We are coming to you live here from PC. We're jumping into our second section of the appendix in our CPM ebook here. It is A.1.2. It's going to be an extension from what we did in the last lesson, but today we're going to be using algebra tiles and we're going to focus on another big idea. Yesterday we talked about area. Today we're going to be moving into perimeter. Let me show you real quick where I'm at. All right, I've logged on to my CPM ebook. I've also got a tab open for my CPM algebra tiles. We're going to need those in just a moment. But the appendix, remember, is down here at the bottom. All right, I've clicked on the appendix and we are in the second lesson. All right, so I'm right here. I've clicked on the lesson. Okay, right here are my notes. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, what we said is we're jumping into a lesson on perimeter. And perimeter, remember, is loosely defined as the distance around a shape. Okay? So what is perimeter? It is just that. If you were to take yourself, shrink yourself, put yourself in a plane with that shape, how far would you have to walk if you walked around it? Okay? And what we're going to focus on today is how can we find perimeter? All right? What are some advantages that we can use to benefit us to make finding perimeter easier? We're also going to get into what perimeter of complex shapes looks like, okay? And some of those things are going to be pretty abstract and obscure, but I think I've got a couple of pretty good strategies that might help you, okay? Well, working today, we're going to go ahead and check out or keep centered these focus questions, all right? How do you see it? So when I give you a shape, what does that shape look like to you? All right? How can we write it as we start to write the perimeter of that shape that we just visualized? All right? And this third one is going to be a big one. Is your expression for perimeter as simple as it can possibly be, right? That's going to tie back to what we did in the last video when it comes to combining like terms algebraically. All right, let's do the deep dive on question A12 right here. All right, question A12, right? The A, of course, stands for appendix. The 12 means it's the 12th problem of the appendix. It is just going to be a continuation from what we did in the last section. All right, the last section, remember, your review preview ended with number 11. This one, of course, starts with number 12. All right, I'm not going to give you algebra tiles right now. I can't because we're at a distance, so we've got to use these e-tiles. So how do you find those e-tiles? Well, back to my CPM ebook. All right. If you click on the hot link right here, it is going to open up your CPM e-tiles, right? Your CPM e-tiles. We discussed we got an x tile, we got an x squared tile, we got a y tile, we got a y squared tile, we have a unit tile, and we have an xy tile. Remember, we name these things with the area of those tiles. We discussed that yesterday. I took them and I copied them all right here. Check this out. We just reviewed the name of the shape. Now we're going to find the perimeter. I'm not going to do every single one of these, but I am going to start nice and easy. We've got a unit tile, front and center. A unit tile is a 1 square unit tile. That's why it's got a 1 right here. And the only way we're able to multiply and get 1 is if each dimension is 1. And remember, this is a rectangle. All right? So if those two sides are 1, that means opposite sides are congruent. These two sides are 1. How in the heck can we come up with perimeter? Well, we can just add all of those items up. And some of you, I'm sure, are already beating me to this. What is the P for perimeter again? The perimeter of this shape is simply 4. All right? Now that one was probably pretty gosh darn easy. Let's move on to something that's maybe a little bit more complex. Right here I've got our x tile. Our x tile right here has an area of x, but when we put that unit right next to it, it lined up perfectly. That means it is also 1 wide. Now let's think here. If it's 1 wide, the only way to get an area of x is if it's x long. Well, can we find the perimeter of that shape? And the answer is, of course we can. We can take all of those items and we can add them up. I can add 1 plus x plus 1 plus x. Now check this out. These two things, oops, look at that. Look how big that highlighter is. Let's shrink that a little bit. These two items can combine because they're both the exact same. And these two items can combine because, again, they're both the exact same. And when I put those two things together, I get that the perimeter is 2 plus 2x. And there is my simplified expression for the perimeter of that shape. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video, but before I do, I'm going to ask you to find the perimeter of another shape. Let's slide this way a little bit. Let's find the perimeter of this shape right here. Pause the video, try it, and then when you're ready, unpause the video, check your answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the entire perimeter identified. I've got an expression written for the perimeter, okay? 1 and 1, 1 and 1, right? Let's do it again. Y and Y on the sides, Y and Y. But this right here is the question we focused on to start. Is that answer as simple as possible? And no, it was not. Okay? That's why we took this and we combined our like terms. We put the 1's together to make 2, we put the y's together to make 2y, and our perimeter is 2 plus 2y. Some people are going to ask, Anderson, isn't that the exact same thing as saying 2y plus 2? And can't I write my answer that way? And that answer, of course, is absolutely. They're the exact same thing. All right? Here's what I'd like you to try real quick. All right? We've got 3 more shapes here that we have not identified the perimeter of. I'm going to ask you to pause your video, sketch those shapes on your sheet, and then try to identify the perimeter of those shapes. When you're ready, unpause the video and check your answers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We've got the x squared tile identified. The x squared tile, remember, each side, right? It's a square. Each side has a length of x. So what did I do? I labeled all those sides and I wrote a perimeter expression. I said, hey, the perimeter's got to be x plus x plus x plus x. And when I take all those x's and I put them together, I get 4x. All right? That is the perimeter of the x squared tile. I'm going to slide over. Let's check out the y squared tile, and I think you're going to see something pretty gosh darn familiar here. The y squared tile has side lengths y and y. I add all those y's up, and I get that perimeter 4y. Okay? The next one might be the most abstract one. The next one, the only one we haven't checked, is going to be the xy tile, and I've got it right here. Now look at that. I've got an XY tile. That means in order to get an area of XY, I needed to multiply an X times a Y. So I've got a side here that's an X, and I needed to multiply it by a side that's a Y. Well, remember, it's a rectangle. If this side on the right is X, then this side on the left is also X. If the side on the top is y, this side on the bottom is also y. Now I take it, x plus y plus x plus y. I combine my like terms. I've got 2 x's, so it's 2x. I combine my like terms. I've got 2y, so it's 2y. My perimeter expression is 2x plus 2y. Do a little self-evaluation. How'd you do? Did you get it? If so, great. If not, we're going to have an opportunity to continue this discussion. All right? We're going to go ahead and tackle...
Mike Peterson, please call 88506. Mike Peterson, 88506.
It's the beauty of making videos in the building. We get the public address, right? Okay, we're moving on to number 13. In parts A through D below, you're going to find some shapes made by some algebra tiles. Your job is to build them. Your job is then to sketch on a piece of paper. I've already got them sketched, thankfully, and then find the simplified perimeter expression. So we're going to do these in parts. I'm not going to build them. I'm going to ask you to build them. Actually, you know what? I'll build the first one. Why not? Right? I have got this ability in my CPM tiles. I can clear this off, and I'm just going to build A. I'll take it, and we'll get a little practice here. Double click to flip. Then I'll put a unit tile there, and then I've got another X tile, and then I've got a unit tile, and then I've got an X tile. Whoops, there we go. Okay, it's built. All right, after I build it, I can sketch it very quickly, and I can bring it back up, and now we're going to go ahead and find the perimeter. All right, I like to find the perimeters just by labeling my sides. This is 1 and 1. Oh, that's a bad looking 1. Let's try again. Okay, and then I've got this is X and that is X. This is 1 and this is 1. Now remember, I don't care about those lines in the interior, right? I don't care about this line right here and this line right here. Those don't matter to me because perimeter is going to be distance along the outside, not on the inside. All right? This one's going to be Y and this one's going to be Y. I've got that as 1 and 1 because remember that's a unit tile. And then one more time, this is going to be X and X. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do some combining of our like terms, right? But before I do that, I'm going to just write it out. 1 plus X plus 1 plus Y plus 1 plus X plus 1 plus X plus 1 plus Y plus 1 plus X. Holy cow. But they're all written out. Ladies and gentlemen, combine your like terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 right there. An X, an X, an X, an X. Were you counting? That was 4 X's. So 6 plus 4X. And then finally, got to put those Y's in. 1, 2, 2 Y's, only 2. And that is our simplified perimeter expression. Ladies and gentlemen, there's just one more thing I want to go through with you. All right, and it is going to be letter B. I will ask you to try letter C on your own here, but let's check out letter B here. If you need time, pause the video. You can reflect on this, this image here. But if you're ready, let's move on. Let's check out letter B. Letter B is over here, and this one looks slightly different because we've got one side consuming part of a side length of another shape. So let's just go ahead and start by identifying all of the sides that we know. Right? This is going to be pretty straightforward for most of us. But I think the question that some of us are going to have is, what in the heck is this measurement right there? It's my question mark. How long is that? Okay? It's definitely more than 1, but it's also definitely less than X. And the way that we consider this right here is that we took X and then we put 1 over the top of it to cover it up, or we took away 1. All right? And now when I go ahead to write that perimeter expression, I've got the 1 from the top, the X from the side, the 2 1s from the bottom, the 1 from the far right-hand side, and then I've also got the 1 from the top of that little bump out. But then I've got to put on there that I'm adding to it that X minus 1. Oops, my parenthesis got covered up there. All right, and now it is just a combined like terms fest. Let's put these X's together just like we've done so far. How many X's do I got? Well, I just got 2 of them. X and X makes 2X. And here's where I've got to make sure my arithmetic is sound. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 minus 1 simply just works out to be 4. Okay? If you need to, ladies and gentlemen, pause the video, try C, and moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our review preview here at the bottom of this page. It is not 6 to 11. That was a typo on my part. It is 17 to 22. And remember, that does come out of our CPM ebook. It is down here in A.1.2 where the review preview starts. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.